It is absolutely wild that in 2025, companies feel like they can put out half-baked, mediocre products and not face backlash for it. And right now, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is being epically roasted by gamers for its bugs, its glitches, its missing features, its terrible writing, and basically everything that they put into this title. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, people have been waiting decades for Bloodlines 2 to release, and unfortunately, those people were completely and utterly screwed over. The TTRPG was amazing, the first game was amazing, but the second game has really killed off this franchise for a lot of people, and I truly don't see a way that they are going to make another game, that they are going to be able to even fix the game that they just put out, and it is being raked across the coals by people. We are furious that we are being screwed over by a greedy company yet again, and keep in mind that just a few weeks ago, they were planning to put day one $30 DLC into this release, locking clans behind a paywall, and they knew the state that this game was in, and it just goes to show that sometimes companies truly do not deserve your support, even if you are super excited for a title. And I know there were a lot of people over the month saying maybe this will come out and it'll at least be half decent, it will at least be fun, but do not waste your money on this game because it is a straight up scam and gamers are not happy. So, taking to Steam, let's start off with the review scores. Boy, oh boy, are they already bad. The game has only been out for 2 days and it is sitting at mixed, and it was actually teetering in the mixed to negative zone. So, I think that as more people play it and more people will review it, it will actually continue to tank, but it is sitting at a mixed with 2,165 English reviews. And let's just compare that to the first game, which was phenomenal. It is sitting at a very positive for both recent and English reviews with either 159 or 9,738. So two very different pictures here. Now, I think that it's very clear, as you can see by the difference in developers and publishers, that yeah, we are talking about two different teams, two different visions, and of course, Bloodlines 2 was in development for 20 years. It was in development hell, it changed hands a bunch of times, they restarted it a number of times, so we are just talking about them putting together a product that has a little bit from every iteration. We're not talking about a clear, coherent vision with this title. It seems like they were jamming the pieces together in order to put it out. If we take to SteamDB and we look at the charts, they're not that good either. The all-time peak was on release day with 27,000 players, which for 20 years worth of hype, you would think that it would be significantly higher than that on Steam, but it wasn't. And in-game right now is 12,446, and this game actually had a lot of followers. It had 193,000. Now, again, it was on Steam for a number of years, and it is actually number 22 in top sellers, but it doesn't look like any of the people who are buying it are really playing it, or maybe we're talking about a situation where, let's say, half of those 27,000 people actually refunded it. We don't have any sort of sales numbers, but this is definitely underperforming if the scores and also the player count is a show of that. Now, if we go over to Metacritic, we are talking about a 65 critic score and a 4.1 user. Now, I generally say I do not trust the critics. These scores were so low, though, that I said I have a feeling gamers are also going to have problems with it, and they definitely do. With 74 user ratings, it is sitting at a 4.1. It's so sad that people waited so long for this game to come out, and it finally did, and it is a pile of trash. We are talking about them missing several features, the graphics being bad, the gameplay being mediocre. We're just talking about a list of problems here. Rock Solid said, horrible story, millennial style writing, terrible character creator, no guns at all, humanity system removed, masquerade system removed, hacking and lockpicking removed, no stat check dialogue. I mean, we are talking about bottom of the fucking barrel here. And it's so sad that this happened because even if I'm not a big fan of a franchise, in this case, I am a big fan of Bloodlines 2, but even if I'm not in some cases, I still want games to come out and be good for the people that enjoy those characters and storylines. But in this case, this hurts my heart, hurts a lot of other people's hearts, and I personally am not going to be buying this anytime soon. I will buy it when it is in a clearance bin for $5. Otherwise, there's no way that they are going to be getting money out of me. It's completely unrecognizable. A 300-year-old Zoomer as the protagonist is definitely not what people wanted. Vampire the Masquerade system removed, absolute kino. The original Bloodlines game was released unfinished as well, but the players had the tools to mod the content back in as well as new content. And yeah, I understand the mentality that, oh, modders will work on it and modders will fix it, but I think that mods should enhance the gameplay years after people have already gotten enjoyment out of it, like a second wind to a game. I don't think that on release day we should need mods in order for it to be palatable, that's for sure. I've waited for this game probably around 15 years. I would like to hate the studio, but I don't. I also had my own attempts in game devs with big publishers. I think this game is just the final straw for me. We need new economics in game dev. Games are getting shittier every year, and like I had highlighted, the user scores over on Steam are sitting at a mixed, and again, they've been teetering on negative, but lots of people are saying it's just not what they expected. Some people say that this game would be great if it didn't have the Bloodlines tagline. They are wrong. This game is a bad Bloodlines game because it's not an RPG. The game is a bad World of Darkness VTM game because it feels like half the writers couldn't be bothered to learn the lore. This game is a bad immersive sim because there is no variety in how you approach encounters, because the world is entirely devoid of anything interesting, because it has no cohesive theme unifying the plot or the character. There's no meaningful depth to the combat system. Save your money, but most importantly, save your time. Not quite the AAA game the AAA price tag would have you believe. I'm quite tempted to put this one on the shelf and come back to it in 2027 when it's been abandoned and mods have fixed the poor gameplay design choices. There are a few positives here, but most of the recommendeds are even saying that it's just not a good Bloodline sequel, but they claim it's a good game in general, which is just wild. Like, why call it Bloodlines if you're not trying to make it Bloodlines? Turn off all the noise around this game for one moment. Whenever I see that, I instantly scroll past the review because you just know that they are mad that there are people criticizing the game, and I'm not going to waste my time reading reviews from people like that. This is not Bloodlines 2, this is Vampire Seattle preying upon the Bloodlines name, Hardsuit Labs and Brian Mitsoda. There are no weapons except a lame telekinesis mechanic. There's no inventory, no RPG, just a skill tree and the cheesiest, most ridiculous chopped down gameplay loop of an elder power fantasy that nobody asked for in this experience. Much like you stole another vampire's power from the start, the sequel is Bloodlines in name only. Tons of these scores showing that the person refunded the product, that they gave up on it. No FOV slider, no way to disable the vomit-inducing motion blur. Recommend waiting to play until there are basic features. No weapons, no stats, no inventory. Are they mental? We removed everything you loved about the original. Enjoy this sequel. If it's not a true successor for the OG game, then they shouldn't have named it as such. Look how they massacred my boy. TLDR playable if you love vampires and are very casual about games. Painful if you love RPGs or World of Darkness. No manual saves, no inventory, and combat feels like a PS2 brawler. Almost no customization, and half the design choices are genuinely bad. Atmosphere's great, but the map is like a ghost town, a janky Fang simulator. Buy it on sale if you really want to play it. So I'm curious to see if any of these developers will start to melt down on social media idea if the company will start hiding some of the criticism on their X account. Only time will tell, but if you are a fan of Bloodlines 1 or the TTRPG or World of Darkness, I highly recommend that you withhold your money for now and maybe you go back and play the good games, maybe you consume the good content and ignore this title. I don't think that there's a way that they could really save this, given the writing is cringe, the graphics are bad, it's missing tons of features, and maybe modders could enhance this experience, but even they are not miracle workers all the time. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.